everyone! Welcome back to Speak English Fluently. I'm Emma, and today we're diving into something incredibly important for your English journey. 7 simple daily habits that can transform the way you learn, speak, and feel about English. These habits are not difficult, they don't require hours of study, and they don't need a heavy mindset. They slowly make English a natural part of your life without pressure.
And I'm James. I love this topic because so many learners overestimate what they can do in one big study session and underestimate what they can do with small daily habits. Real fluency isn't loud. It doesn't come suddenly. It grows quietly, like a plant you water every day. Even 5 minutes a day can shift your brain into an English-friendly mode.
So let's start with habit number 1, beginning your day with English. This doesn't mean waking up and opening a giant textbook. It simply means letting English be the first thing your brain hears or reads. You could listen to a short audio, scroll through an English quote, or watch a quick clip.
Yes, because morning time is powerful. Your brain is clean, calm, and ready to absorb. Starting with English tells your brain, we are doing this today. Even 2 minutes can set the tone for the entire day. It creates a warm, familiar environment for English to grow naturally.
Habit 2 is one many learners avoid, speaking out loud daily. And I don't mean a long conversation. I mean small, simple, daily speaking moments, like describing what you're doing, explaining your plan for the day, or telling yourself a short story.
Yes, speaking alone is one of the most underrated fluency builders. People think they need a partner, but the truth is, your mouth needs practice, not an audience. When you talk to yourself, you remove fear, pressure, and embarrassment. You train your brain to form sentences faster. You train your tongue to move more smoothly. And after a while, speaking to others becomes easier because you already practiced alone.
Habit 3, read a little every day. Reading does something magical. It shows you how English works without forcing you to study rules. It gives you natural grammar, natural structure, and natural vocabulary.
And you don't need to read difficult things. In fact, simple reading is better. One small paragraph, one short story, one article you enjoy. When reading becomes enjoyable, your brain relaxes. And a relaxed brain learns 10 times faster than a stressed one. Reading builds silent fluency, the kind that grows without you noticing.
Habit 4 is reviewing daily instead of trying to memorize everything at once. Memorizing feels heavy. Reviewing feels light. When you review small pieces regularly, the brain feels safe and familiar.
Habit 4 is reviewing daily instead of trying to memorize everything at once. Memorizing feels heavy. Reviewing feels light. When you review small pieces regularly, the brain feels safe and familiar.
Habit 5, active listening. Listening is the foundation of fluency. It teaches your brain rhythm, pronunciation, emotion, speed, all the things you can't learn from a book.
Exactly. And active listening means paying attention, not just hearing the sounds, but noticing how sentences rise and fall, how speakers pause, how words join together. When you listen actively every day, even for a short time, your speaking becomes smoother without effort. Your mouth follows what your ears already know.
Habit 6 is incredibly powerful. Thinking in English. This is where fluency really begins. Thinking in English removes the translation step, the biggest barrier that slows people down. Dot.
You don't need to think big thoughts. Just think simple things. I'm hungry. I'm leaving now. This is interesting. These small English thoughts connect directly to your speaking ability. They make your brain faster, lighter, and more natural. After weeks of this, you begin speaking without thinking too much.
And habit 7, consistency. Consistency is the engine that makes all the other habits work. Without consistency, progress becomes random. With consistency, even small actions turn into powerful fluency gains.
Yes, you don't need perfect days. You just need daily presence. Some days you'll practice for 15 minutes, some days for 3 minutes. That's okay. What matters is that you don't stop. A small daily habit beats a big study session once a week. Always.
You know, James, what I love most about these habits is how gentle they feel. They don't demand discipline like a strict school routine. They grow quietly inside your life without pressure.
Yes, and learners often don't notice their growth immediately. But after a month or two, they suddenly realize something has changed. They understand more. They hesitate less. They speak more naturally. That's the hidden power of daily habits.
And sometimes people tell me, Emma, I don't see progress. But when I ask what they do daily, they say they study only once or twice a week for long hours.
That's the misunderstanding. Fluency doesn't come from intensity. It comes from repetition. Just like learning to ride a bicycle or play an instrument, small daily practice builds confidence.
And the beautiful thing is that habits become automatic. At first, you have to remind yourself, but after a while, your brain does them without thinking. Listening becomes natural. Thinking in English becomes natural. Speaking a little every day becomes natural.
And once English becomes natural, fluency is not far behind.
Let's imagine someone listening right now. Maybe someone who feels stuck or unsure. Maybe they feel like their English is slow or their confidence is low.
Yes, and let's show what their day could look like if they use these habits. They wake up and spend just 3 minutes listening to a short English clip.
Then they speak to themselves for 1 minute. I have work today. I hope I can finish everything. I feel a little tired, but I'll try my best.
In the afternoon, they read a small paragraph of something they enjoy. Maybe sports, maybe food, maybe travel.
Later, while cooking or walking, they listen again. Maybe a story, maybe a small lesson. Not heavy, just something they enjoy.
At night, before sleeping, they think in English about their day. Today was busy. I learned something new. I want tomorrow to be better.
That's it. That's the whole routine. And it fits into a real life, even a busy one.
And if they repeat this for a month, they transform.
So if you're listening, know this. Your fluency is not a dream. It's a process. And you're already in it.
Yes, every small step you take matters. Every minute you listen matters. Every thought you say in English matters. Your progress is real, even on days you don't feel it.
And if you build these 7 habits even softly, even slowly, English will become easier, smoother, more enjoyable.
Thank you for joining us today on Speak English Fluently. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Keep speaking, keep thinking, keep practicing.
And as always,
Keep speaking English fluently.
before we wrap up, James, I really want to talk about something learners often feel but rarely say out loud: the guilt of not being perfect. Many learners tell me they feel bad when they miss a day or when their English doesn't sound like a native speaker's. But the truth is, fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about staying open, curious, and willing, even when things feel slow.
Yes, and it's such an important mindset. People beat themselves up for not understanding everything, for forgetting a word, for making a grammar mistake. But mistakes are a sign of courage. They show you showed up. They show you tried. And when you try every day, even for a little, your brain grows stronger. It doesn't matter if you stumble. What matters is that you continue.
I always compare it to learning an instrument. No one gets frustrated when a beginner makes a mistake on the guitar. They smile, they adjust, they keep going. But when it comes to English, learners expect perfection. They want every sentence to be correct from the start. But fluency grows like music, slowly, with repetition, with small improvements that become big breakthroughs over time.
That's so true, Emma. And these habits help you build that musical rhythm in your English. Listening creates the melody, speaking adds the rhythm, reading adds the structure, thinking adds the flow. And consistency ties everything together like a full song.
Let's dive deeper with an example. Think of a learner named Sophia. She always felt nervous speaking English. She studied hard, but the moment she had to speak to someone, her mind went blank. She thought she needed more grammar, more vocabulary, more practice. But what she really needed was daily habits that built confidence gradually.
Yes, I remember you sharing her story. Sophia started doing just 3 things daily: thinking in English, listening to English while cooking, and reading a short article before bed. After 3 weeks, her fear didn't completely disappear, but something changed. She stopped freezing. She started speaking slowly but confidently, using the words she already knew.
Exactly. Confidence begins when English becomes familiar. And familiarity comes from daily exposure. That's why these 7 habits are so powerful. They create a calm, daily relationship between you and English. Not fear, not pressure, just a relationship that grows.
And when learners understand this, they stop trying to force fluency. You can't force fluency. You can only invite it into your daily life. You can only create the environment where fluency grows naturally.
And this environment is simple. A few minutes of listening, a little speaking, a little reading, gentle review, some English thoughts, and consistency. It's not difficult. It's not exhausting. It's like adding small drops of English into your day every day.
And small drops eventually fill a whole cup. Many learners feel discouraged because they don't see big progress in a day or a week. But if they looked at their progress over months, they would be amazed. Daily habits create quiet progress. Progress you don't always notice until one day someone says, "Wow, your English sounds better."
Yes, that moment always surprises learners. They think nothing changed, but inside, their brain has been building strong pathways for months. And that's why consistency wins. When you practice gently and regularly, you grow even when you don't realize you're growing.
I want to talk about mindset for a moment. Many learners think, I have to study to improve. But studying is only one part of fluency. Living with the language, listening to it, thinking in it, using it in small ways, this is where fluency truly forms.
That's such an important point. English shouldn't feel like homework. It shouldn't feel like something you have to survive. It should feel like a small daily friend. Something you enjoy, something you welcome, something you spend a few moments with every day.
And once English becomes a friend, your confidence grows. You stop feeling like English is judging you. Instead, you start feeling supported by it. These habits create a warm relationship with English. You begin to feel comfortable with the sounds, the rhythm, the words.
And comfort leads to confidence. When something feels comfortable, your brain relaxes. When your brain relaxes, you speak better. That's why a relaxed learner improves faster than a stressed one.
Exactly. And daily habits create that relaxed environment. No pressure, no heavy expectations. Just small, meaningful moments with the language.
Think about it like brushing your teeth. You never say, I brushed yesterday, so I don't need to brush today. You brush because it's a habit. English should be the same. A tiny daily action that you don't think too hard about.
And the more automatic these habits become, the more natural your fluency becomes. Fluency is not a skill you build once. It's something you maintain and grow through daily contact with the language.
Let's give learners a little guidance on how to blend these habits into real life. For example, if someone works long hours and feels too tired to study, they can still listen during breakfast, think in English during a bus ride, or read for 1 minute before sleeping.
Yes, and if someone feels shy about speaking out loud, they can practice in the shower, or in a closed room, or while walking alone. The key is not how perfect the environment is. The key is that the habit happens.
And if someone feels overwhelmed by reading, they can choose very simple reading, maybe a short dialogue, a small story, even English comments on social media. Reading small things daily is far more effective than forcing yourself to read something difficult once a week.
And thinking in English doesn't need any extra time. You can do it while brushing your hair, choosing clothes, walking, waiting, resting, anytime. It's the easiest habit and one of the most effective.
I love how these habits don't require special materials. They require only you, your voice, your ears, your thoughts, your curiosity. That's all.
Exactly. English becomes a lifestyle, not a lesson. And when English becomes a lifestyle, fluency becomes a natural result.
I think the most beautiful part is that these habits help learners fall in love with English. They stop seeing English as a difficult subject and start seeing it as a companion.
And when you love the language opens itself to you. Progress becomes effortless. Confidence feels natural. Speaking becomes less scary.
So if anyone listening feels stuck right now, I want you to know that you don't need a complicated plan. You need gentle daily presence. These habits will take you forward even on days you feel tired or busy.
And on days you feel motivated, You can expand them. But the goal is not perfection, the goal is rhythm.
English grows in rhythm, not in pressure.
Thank you for staying with us in this longer, deeper conversation. We hope these habits feel clear, flexible, and encouraging.
And remember, the more you practice these habits, the more English becomes a natural part of your everyday world.
Thanks for listening to Speak English Fluently.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Keep showing up, keep practicing.
And keep speaking English fluently.